All right, I'll just get right into it. I've been with my wife, Lisa, for about 8 years now. We met in college, and honestly, things seemed pretty solid at first. She was the kind of girl everyone liked, funny, beautiful, confident. We got married after a few years of dating, and I thought we had a good thing going. Or at least I did. Looking back, I guess there were signs I just didn't want to see. Little things that added up. Missed calls she wouldn't explain, late nights she'd brush off, text messages she'd hide when I came into the room. Nothing major at first, just the usual women's intuition telling me something was off, but I shrugged it off because I loved her and I wanted to believe the best. Then the wedding happened, my sister's wedding actually. That was supposed to be a happy day, a celebration of love, family, all that good stuff. But honestly, that day was a turning point for me. Lisa was acting weird, distant even. She kept sneaking off, whispering on her phone, and I caught her scrolling through her messages more times than I could count. She'd smile and brush it off, say I was paranoid or overthinking. She'd call me crazy when I brought it up, which only made me more suspicious. I remember feeling this gnawing doubt, like a little bug crawling under my skin, but I kept telling myself I was just being paranoid. Maybe I was overthinking, maybe she was just stressed, or maybe it was the wedding nerves. But deep down, I knew something was wrong. After the wedding, things didn't really improve. Lisa seemed more distant than ever. She'd go out with her friends a lot, always had an excuse, but I noticed she was less interested in me. When I'd try to talk, she'd get bitchy, say I was clinging, or being insecure. It was like she was pushing me away, and I didn't understand why. I mean, I wasn't perfect, I made my mistakes, sure. But I wasn't expecting this level of coldness from someone I'd been with for so long. I started checking her phone, which I hate admitting, but I needed to know what was going on. The thing is, I found nothing at first. No texts, no calls, no suspicious messages. I thought maybe I was imagining it all. Then one night I got an actual clue that just shattered everything I thought I knew. I was scrolling through her photos on social media, just trying to see what she'd been up to, and I saw a picture of her with Kevin. Kevin's my best friend. We've known each other for years, practically brothers. I always trusted him. But in this picture, Lisa was leaning into him like they were more than just friends. They were holding hands, and she was looking at him like he was the only person in the world. My stomach sank. I stared at that image for what felt like an eternity. And then I saw the caption, something about finally letting go, or our secret. I can't remember exactly. That's when my blood ran cold. I couldn't believe it. My wife, the woman I married, was cheating on me with Kevin, my best friend, right under my nose. All those times she was distant, all those late nights, the little lies I caught her in, they were all leading up to this. I was furious, devastated, and honestly, I felt like I'd been punched in the gut. It was like my entire world flipped upside down in that moment. I didn't sleep that night, just staring at the ceiling and trying to process what I'd seen. How could she do this? How long had this been going on? And why Kevin? How could someone I trusted, someone I called my brother, betray me like this? It was the kind of shock that leaves you hollow, like your insides got ripped out. I knew I had to confront her. I couldn't keep living like this, not knowing the truth anymore. So I waited for the right moment, and when she came home that night, I was ready. I looked her straight in the eyes and told her I knew everything. Her reaction, just a sneer like I was bothering her. She rolled her eyes and called me paranoid again. That's when I lost it. I told her I'd had enough, that I wasn't going to be a fool anymore. But she just laughed, said I was overreacting, that Kevin was just a good friend and I was making a mountain out of a molehill. That's the kind of lying bitch she is. Always denying, always spinning stories, always making herself the victim. I could see the lies in her eyes, but I was too hurt to argue anymore. I just stood there feeling like I'd been punched so hard I couldn't breathe. That's where I am now, completely lost, angry as hell, trying to figure out what to do next. After that confrontation, everything changed. I felt like I was walking around in a fog, like I'd been hit by a truck and was just trying to stay upright. I couldn't eat, couldn't sleep. All I kept thinking about was that picture, that moment when I realized Kevin, my best friend, and Lisa, the woman I loved, had been lying to me for years. How long had they been sneaking around? Was I blind? Did I miss all the signs? The betrayal cut so deep that I couldn't focus on anything else. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw their faces, their hands intertwined, the sneer on Lisa's face when I accused her. I started digging more, going through her phone again, trying to find some proof or maybe just some way to make sense of it all. The thing is, Lisa always had a way of spinning stories, convincing me she was innocent or that I was overreacting. But I wasn't stupid. I knew when someone was lying to my face, and she was a master at it. She'd cry, act innocent, call me insecure or jealous, but I wasn't jealous. I was hurt. I was betrayed. I'd trusted her with everything, and she'd thrown it all away for some cheap thrill with Kevin. One day, I finally found the nerve to confront her again. I told her I knew about the affair, that I'd seen enough evidence. Her reaction was just more of the same, denial, blame shifting, that smug little smirk she always had. She told me I was crazy, that I was imagining things, that Kevin was just a bro who she was helping out, that she'd never cheat on me, that I was just insecure and paranoid. She said she was tired of me accusing her of stuff, tired of me trying to control her. Honestly, that made me more furious. Control her. I just wanted honesty. I wanted respect. Not some secret affair with my best friend behind my back. That's when I started to feel the full weight of what she'd done. It wasn't just that she cheated, it was the lies. The way she'd always deny, spin stories, make herself out to be the victim. She's been lying for years. I found texts hidden away in her email drafts, naked photos, secret rendezvous days she'd said she was working late but was actually with Kevin. I felt sick, like I was losing my mind. Everything I thought I knew about her, about us, was a lie. I kept asking myself, how could she be so callous? How could she betray me like this with someone I trusted? Kevin, my best friend, the guy I brought to every barbecue and told everything to. It was a punch to the guts every single time I thought about it. But the worst part, the emotional toll, because I loved her, or I thought I did. I kept wondering if I could forgive her, if I even should. The betrayal was so raw, so intense, that I felt like I was walking around with a hole in my chest. Every time I saw her differently, like she was a stranger wearing my wife's face. And Kevin, the guy I called my brother, I couldn't even look at him anymore without feeling this boiling rage. How could he do this to me, to us? I kept replaying that moment in my head, wishing I'd confronted them sooner, wishing I'd seen the signs, wishing I could turn back time to before everything turned into this mess. At this point, I knew I had to make a decision. I couldn't keep living in this limbo of betrayal and lies. The trust was shattered beyond repair. I started thinking about leaving, about ending everything, but part of me was just numb. I felt stuck, like I was in quicksand. I didn't know whether to fight for her or walk away. Deep down, I knew she didn't deserve me anymore, that she'd shown her true colors. But it still hurts, you know. It hurts so much to realize the person you trusted most in the world was sneaking around behind your back with your best friend, no less. Every day since I found out has been a struggle. I wake up hopping at some sick nightmare, but it's real. And the pain is real. The betrayal feels like a wound I can't close up. After a few days of sitting with the truth, I decided I couldn't keep pretending everything was normal. I needed to confront Lisa one last time, but this time I was prepared. I wanted her to finally own up, to admit what she'd done, and to hear everything I was feeling: anger, disappointment, heartbreak. I arranged to meet her when she was alone. I didn't want her to have her fake tears or her manipulative bullshit ready to go. I just wanted to see her face when the truth hit her like a brick wall. The moment she saw me walk in, her smug expression faded a little. She looked surprised, maybe even a little nervous. I didn't hold back. I told her I knew about her affair with Kevin, that I'd seen the pictures, read the messages, put all the pieces together. She rolled her eyes, crossing her arms, and said I was overreacting, that I was wildly jealous and crazy, just like she always did. I could hear the irritation in her voice, like I was an annoyance she couldn't wait to brush off. I told her she was full of shit, that I wasn't stupid, and that I'd been patient enough. I told her I didn't want to hear any more lies, that I was done. Her reaction: she scoffed, looked at me like I was a fool, and then started spinning her usual excuses. She said Kevin was just a friend, that she never cheated, that I was just paranoid and insecure. She called me controlling and said I never trusted her. Honestly, it took everything in me not to just lose it right there. I wanted to shake her, to scream at her that I was tired of her lies, tired of her bullshit, tired of being played. But I stayed calm, just enough to say that I knew the truth and I was leaving her. I told her she could take her lies and her cheating and shove them where the sun doesn't shine. That was the breaking point. She stared at me, her face a mask of anger and contempt, and then just sneered. She said I was overreacting, that I was making a huge deal out of nothing. Said Kevin was just a bro helping her out, that I was imagining things, that I was insecure and jealous. I looked her in the eyes and told her I didn't want her anymore, that I was done with her lies, her manipulations, her betrayal. I told her she'd lost me forever and that I was going to start over. She tried to argue, to plead, but I wasn't hearing it. I'd heard enough lies. The aftermath was a blur. I packed some clothes, told her I'd be staying at a friend's house while I figured things out. I felt numb walking out that door, like I'd been emptied of every emotion I had left. The thing is, I knew she'd never admit to what she did, not really. She'd keep lying, keep spinning stories, keep denying everything just like she always did. But I also knew I couldn't stay. Not with her, not after what I found out. The trust was completely broken and I couldn't see a way to fix it. Since then, I've been trying to process everything. The shock, the rage, the sadness. It's like I've been punched in the stomach repeatedly. I keep replaying the moments, wondering if I missed the signs, if I could have done something differently. The worst part is that Kevin, my best friend, betrayed me too. It's like losing a part of my family. I don't know how to face them now, how to look them in the eyes knowing what I know. It's hard to even think about the future, about trying to trust anyone again. All I can do is take it day by day and try to rebuild from this mess. Honestly, I feel like I've lost a part of myself in all this, but I know I have to move on. I just don't know what that looks like yet. It's been a few weeks since I walked out that door, and honestly, I'm still trying to piece myself back together. Some days are worse than others. I catch myself thinking about her, about Kevin, about everything we had, and how it all got blown apart in one stupid, cruel moment. The anger I felt at first has dulled into a kind of numb sadness. I keep asking myself how I didn't see the signs, how I missed the way she dodged my questions, or how Kevin always seemed a little too comfortable around her. I guess I just didn't want to see it, because loving someone makes you blind sometimes. I started spending more time with people who actually care about me, my friends, some family members I trust. They've been trying to help me see that I'm better off without her, that I deserve someone who's honest and loyal. I know they're right, but it's hard. Every time I think about starting over, I feel overwhelmed. I mean, she was my wife, my partner in everything. I imagined us growing old together, sharing everything. Now I can't even look at her photos or think about her without feeling this deep ache inside. It's like grief, but for a relationship I thought was unbreakable. The thing is, I haven't spoken to Kevin since I found out. I just can't bring myself to do it. Part of me wants to confront him, to ask why he did it, how long they'd been sneaking around. But then I remind myself it's not worth it. He's a coward just like her. If he had any respect for me, he wouldn't have done that. I keep replaying the moments when I was trusting him, sharing jokes, hanging out. It's like he stole that too, my best friend, my confidant. How could he betray me like that? I keep wondering if I'll ever be able to forgive him, or if I even want to. I've also started thinking about the future. I don't want to be alone forever, but honestly, I don't trust women right now. It's hard to imagine trusting anyone again after all this. I keep telling myself I need time, that healing isn't a straight line. But every time I see a couple walking down the street, holding hands, I feel this punch in my stomach. I wonder if I'll ever find someone who won't betray me, who won't make me question everything I believe about love. Sometimes late at night I get into these spirals where I blame myself. Was I too blind? Could I have done something differently? Did I miss the warning signs? Or was I just so caught up in the idea of us that I couldn't see the truth? I know I shouldn't blame myself, but it's hard not to. I trusted her, I trusted Kevin, and now I feel like I've been sucker punched by everyone I cared about. I've started seeing a counselor, which helps a little. It's a slow process, but talking to someone who doesn't judge helps me vent some of the anger and confusion. They told me that it's okay to feel broken right. Now that healing takes time and that I shouldn't rush into anything. But I still wake up with this ache in my chest, this feeling that everything's permanently changed. The house I made into a home feels empty now, and every corner reminds me of what I lost. Sometimes I want to shout or cry or just scream at the universe for messing with me like this. But I know I have to keep going, even if I don't know exactly how. The thing I keep coming back to is this: I didn't deserve this. No one does. Betrayal cuts so deep, and it's made me question everything I thought I knew about people. But I also realize that I can't stay stuck in this place forever. I have to find a way to move forward, to rebuild my life on my own terms. I don't have all the answers yet, but I do know that I'm better off without her. I just need time to accept that and some patience to heal those wounds that are still fresh. It's a long road, but I guess I have to walk it, one day at a time. It's been a little while since I made the decision to walk away from her completely. Honestly, I feel like I've been trying to rebuild myself piece by piece. Some days are better than others, but I can say for sure that I'm starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel, though it's dim, and I have to keep walking toward it. I've spent a lot of time reflecting, trying to understand how I got here and what I can learn from this nightmare. One thing I've realized is that I was too trusting. I always believed in giving people the benefit of the doubt, but in this case, that trust was shattered in the worst way. Dealing with her bitchy attitude, her constant lies, and her gaslighting was exhausting. She'd deny everything, call me insecure, and make me feel like I was overreacting. I started to see through her facade, though. It became clear she was just trying to manipulate me into staying silent, but I refused to be a pawn in her game anymore. I started putting my foot down, setting boundaries, and nothing about her behavior changed. She kept lying, kept twisting the truth. Honestly, I got tired of fighting her lies and decided I'd just focus on myself. I found a new apartment, things I never thought I'd have to do, like starting over after 8 years of being with someone. It's not easy. Every room in that new place reminds me of what I lost, but at the same time, it's my own space now. No more sneaky texts, no more cold stares, no more Kevin's betrayal. It's quiet, and honestly, that silence is probably the best thing I've had in a long time. Sometimes I sit on the balcony and stare out at the city, just trying to breathe and let the feelings come and go. I think about my future, whether I'll find someone trustworthy again, or whether I should just focus on myself for a while. My friends have been incredible through all of this. They constantly remind me that I deserve better, that I don't need someone who lies and cheats. They tell me I'm strong, even when I don't feel it. I'm starting to accept that life moves on, even if I don't feel ready yet. I've been trying to keep busy, working out, reading, just distracting myself with anything that helps. Still, I catch myself thinking about her, about Kevin, about all the moments I thought were real. That part is the hardest to deal with. I've also started therapy, which has helped me put everything into perspective. I've learned that I should never ignore my instincts, that my feelings are valid, and that I don't have to settle for anyone who disrespects me. I've come to terms with the fact that she was never the person I thought she was. She's been manipulative from the start. That realization hurts, but it's also freeing in a way. Now I see things more clearly, and I know I won't let myself be hurt like this again. I don't think I'll ever fully forget what happened, but I want to learn to live with it. I want to rebuild trust in myself and others, even if that's a long way off. Right now, I just focus on healing, taking small steps each day to move forward. I know I won't let her or Kevin define me or my future. I've realized I'm stronger than I thought, and that, even after everything, I can still find happiness again. It's a slow process, but I'm determined to get there. One thing I know for sure: I deserve respect and honesty, and I won't settle for anything less. Looking back now, I realize that this whole experience has changed me in ways I never expected. At first, I felt like I lost everything: the trust, the stability, the person I thought I was. But as time went on, I started to see that I also gained something. I gained clarity. I learned that I have boundaries and I won't let anyone cross them again. I learned that ignoring my instincts only makes things worse, and that I deserve honesty, respect, and loyalty. The betrayal was brutal, but it also forced me to confront my own strength. Now I'm at a point where I can honestly say I feel a little more like myself. I still have bad days, sure. The pain still lingers, and I doubt I'll ever fully forget the betrayal. But I've come to accept that people are flawed, and sometimes the people closest to you will hurt you the worst. The key is how you respond. That's what truly defines you. I've chosen to focus on healing, on rebuilding my life without her, and on trusting myself again. This whole ordeal has also made me realize how fragile trust is and how easily it can be broken. But it's also made me realize how resilient I am. I'm stronger than I thought, and I'm learning to love myself enough to say no to anyone who disrespects me. I've started to open up to new people cautiously, and I remind myself not everyone is like her or Kevin. There are good people out there, and I'll find someone who respects me, who values honesty, and who won't betray me the way they did. The most important lesson I took from all of this is that I don't need anyone who makes me feel small or unworthy. I deserve someone who fights for me, who is honest, who loves me for who I am. I may never fully trust her again, and honestly, I don't want to. I want to move forward, not just to forget, but to become better, more aware, more cautious, but also more hopeful. So I guess the final takeaway is this: trust your gut. When something feels off, pay attention to it. Don't ignore the red flags, because if you do, you might end up heartbroken like I did. But also, don't let heartbreak define you. Use it as a lesson, a wake-up call to never settle for less than you deserve. I've learned that even at my lowest, I am capable of getting back up. And even though it hurts like hell right now, I know I will find happiness again. That's the truth I cling to now: hope, resilience, and the belief that I am worth more than the pain she and Kevin have left behind.